What's up, everybody? This is Candace Smith, and this is Pasco Connect. And I'm coming to you live just to do this quick podcast because apparently all hell has broken out today. Basically, what has happened, if you all don't know, is that there was a protest scheduled for today, earlier today in Wesley Chapel around 2 o'clock. Members of CADSI, Bill Dumas, president, members of Pasco Young Revolutionaries, Marlowe Jones, and members of Black Lives Matter-Pasco, Nina Boneta, Maya, and other members came together in Wesley Chapel to hold a funeral procession protest. And basically, it was in remembrance of all of the victims and people who have died by police brutality. And it was a very peaceful march. Basically, they met in one location, all in their cars, and drove through the city like they would a funeral. And there was actually a company that donated their well, they didn't donate it, but they basically let them borrow a hearse. And I'm going to put that company's name in the description. But they wanted to help out in some type of way, so they loaned that. So basically, it was just like a funeral, but there was no actual dead body. And so there was a nice turnout. As you could see by the pictures, there was a nice turnout. And so they drove through areas of Wesley Chapel, and they kind of ended in a location. You got to understand that this has been in the works for about 2 weeks. Bill Dumas, he's an older gentleman. He's been fighting for black rights for decades. And so don't sleep on him whatsoever. This man is older, but he got the strength of like 10 young men, seriously. And so he's been working behind the scenes with different community leaders to put this together because unfortunately, due to COVID, due to his health issues, he's not able to come out to the marches the way everybody else can. So, he wanted to be a part. And so he said, well, let's do this. That way everybody can safely social distance. They can be in their cars. They went and scouted locations that would not interfere too much with the city. They contacted the correct people, sheriff department, let them know, hey, this is our route. This is what we're going to do. And so the place where they were ending, they knew they would have speakers. And so they pulled into an area where there's no traffic. It basically is like a dead end place where it's nowhere to go. So there's no traffic going through there. The only time people may come through is if they accidentally going that way. And so when they're in the middle of giving their speeches, all of a sudden there's this silver white pickup truck that pulls up and doesn't stop. And so, immediately as people see the car just continuing to come, they're like putting their hands up, yelling like, hey, don't come through here, turn around. The guy just continues. You could see there's a video on Pasco Young Revolutionaries and Black Lives Matter-Pasco County. You can find the full video. I put a little clip in here just to show immediately, but the video is actually 20 minutes long, and it shows, Bill Dumas giving a speech. He gives a really heartfelt speech. He talks about Jerry Brown, and he kind of does like a reenactment of what happened, because if you all don't know, back in 2014, Jerry Brown was killed by the police, by Pasco County Sheriff's officers, who basically there was an undercover officer trying to get him to sell him drugs. And so when Jerry Brown eventually agreed to do it, he got in the car with him to count out the drugs. And that's when other agents came up to interrupt the sale and go ahead and arrest him. And so because he didn't immediately comply with the officer's request for him to whatever, put up his hands, whatever they were asking him to do, they shot and killed him. And so the sheriff's department has continued to stand by their use of force in that incident by stating, he did not comply. He was making movements as if he was going to reach for something. So they were concerned for the undercover agent that was sitting in the seat next to him, and they were concerned for the officers. And so they shot and killed him. What has sparked more interest in the case is that Tampa Bay Times recently released a video showing what happened. I think they only redacted like 11 seconds of it. But for the most part, they show you, what happened. And what's funny is that it's only a few seconds between the time that they basically give Jerry the orders for what they want him to do before they shoot and kill him. And it was a very disorienting situation because he didn't know what was going on. This is an undercover agent. He thinking this is just another drug sale that this man, he must really want his drugs. Let me go ahead and sell him his drugs so he can get out of my way. So he's in the car doing the transaction, and then the police come up and it startles him and he doesn't really know what to do. I think in my mind when I watched it, it seemed like he was trying to maybe turn around and go out the back seat or something, because he did make a turning motion or whatever, but I guess he saw that the car was completely surrounded. Then he goes and turns to try to open the front door, and it's immediately pushed by the officers, and then it's redacted time, and then the gunshots. And so during this protest, the president of CADSI, Bill Dumas, was basically reenacting it. And so he's talking about it. He's getting the crowd, encouraging them to continue to come out and support the different movements and speak up. And, he's just doing his thing. And so it was really, moving. And all of a sudden he turned around because there's horns blaring and there's this gray pickup truck coming through the crowd. And so, ladies from the Black Lives Matter-Pasco, they wasn't having it. They stood flat foot in front of the truck to prevent it from coming. And so you hear Marlowe Jones, the president of Pasco Young Revolutionaries, basically holding the phone and, going up to the passenger side where you could see a white male and a white female. And so the way he holds the camera, you can't see what's really happening. All of a sudden, you just hear him say, hey, he's got a gun. He's got a gun. And so you see him kind of moving fast, trying to get to the front of the car to get the ladies to move out of the way. They not trying to hear it. They like, man, forget that. You could have turned around. You could have went anywhere else. Why would you come through here? And so, after pleading with them and other people coming up saying, what, just move, they finally move over. And the car continues to go by with people making remarks, the man making a remark, but it ended up, just ending. But then there was some other conversation going on about whether they even should have moved, because, this is the things that happen to us as Black people a lot. We are just interrupted in our lives and just expected to just stop everything a lot of times. When white people just feel the need to exert their powers or just, put up some type of, hey, break this little thing up y'all got going over here. It was disrespectful. And, there's been a lot of protests happening in Pasco County. Black Lives Matters continues to protest, but there's also been Blue Lives Matters that's protesting. There's also been other white organizations that's been protesting for All Lives Matter. And so I find it very funny that, there's nobody from Black Lives Matter, nobody from CADSI, nobody from Pasco Young Revolutionaries coming over to their protest, driving in the middle of it, just doing obviously things that will cause a disruption. But they're expected to just accept it and expected to just, let them disrupt it. It's no big deal. So I kind of understood where the ladies were coming from. But I also have to just say, I continue to see a lot of Black women standing on the front lines when it comes to, protesting and all of those things like that. And we're some strong individuals as Black women. We are strong. We don't take no crap because we've been taking crap our entire lives. And that's just the truth. That's the truth. We don't back down from nobody because it's like everybody is against us. So in order for me to get anywhere, I have to be rah-rah. I have to be, just exert my force and exert my strength and show it so much, or I'll be trampled over. And I think a lot of Black women in this moment, is just tired of it. We're just tired of being silenced, tired of being just pushed aside and always told to just no, let them walk all over you and things like that. So I definitely understood where the ladies were coming from. I also understood where, other people were like, you know what, let's just keep the peace. We came out here to have a peaceful protest. We came out here to do our own thing. This is, of course, what they want, so that it could turn out to be something negative, So to me, this person was just trying to create chaos. He was trying to come over and, incite something, because when certain people just believe in certain things, they believe in it to the death. They're willing to die for what they believe in. They're willing to go to jail for it. They're willing to, be yelled at, and, they don't care. He went on about his life. He don't even care. He's going and having a beer with his buddies and talking about how he busted up the Black Lives Matter little thing they thought they had going on over there. That's probably how he's feeling. So, it's just crazy that this had to happen. And this happened in Wesley Chapel. And these, I often speak with the ladies with Black Lives Matter-Pasco, and they continue to share stories of how every single time they're protesting, they are often, yelled at. The N-word is thrown out every single day. Every single day. Every single day they get shot birds. Every single time. And it's like, I wonder if Black people are doing those things to the other protests that are going on. Are they going around, yelling out racial slurs? Are they going around shooting them birds and making them feel bad for standing up for themselves? Are they doing that? No, but this continues to happen at the protests where they shout Black Lives Matter. So why is that continuing to happen? And I think the protests need to happen because it's really showing how a lot of people get bothered when we yell out Black Lives Matter in Pasco County. And this is an example of it. So, I'm going to keep you guys up to date. They did get the license tag, the license plate of the vehicle that came through. And I know that community leaders are following up. So I'll keep you guys posted. Go to PascoConnect.blogspot.com. and subscribe by email so you can stay up to date with everything that's going on and going down in the Black community and in Pasco County. I'm gonna definitely be keeping up with all of the protests and the events and organizations that's coming together to bring about change in Pasco County. So, in the meantime, go find us on Facebook, Pasco Connect. Go like us. We're on YouTube as well. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be doing a live show every other Saturday at around 7 p.m. So stay tuned for that. We'll go live from Pasco Young Revolutionaries with co-host Marlowe Jones. And we'll also be bringing in live reports from Black Lives Matter. So I can't wait to share all of the things that's coming up. So stay tuned. Until next time, peace. So, breaking news, this just in. Apparently, things really got heated after the whole incident because Black Lives Matter-Pasco County ended up posting this. For anyone wondering that watched the live video, we are all okay and no one was harmed. After the funeral procession today, we parked along a road next to Walmart, leaving the turn lane open for passerbys and had our hazard lights on to get out and listen to some speeches. A white man in a truck proceeded to drive through our rows of cars to get through instead of using the turn lane. He threatened us with a gun and would not back up after we asked several times and were standing in front of his truck. Per the wishes of the organizer, we let him through and no one was harmed. Thank you to everyone who asked and checked in. We need to stop giving these people power. We will not be silenced and we won't let white supremacy rule our streets. So a little bit later, there was another post put out by Black Lives Matter Pasco County, and it says, I'm in parentheses Maya, gonna say this once and only once. If you are with us, you had better be ready to show out. Don't tell me you got my back and don't show it. Let these photos be a lesson. This was not our event and we were asked to back down. We will not be back down ever again. Either stand beside me or STFU. Shut the F up. Quotation marks. Exclamation point. So, Black Lives Matter Pasco is not playing. Do you hear me? They are not playing. They did not come here to play. So we got to see how this whole thing turns out and how it unfolds. It's just that a lot of people are frustrated, so I definitely get that. You guys go to Black Lives Matter Pasco on Facebook and follow them, because they're out here and they're serious about what they're doing.